Okay, so multidimensional arrays. Okay, that doesn't look right. It looks like the old one. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, this is the old one. Okay, so here we see the array being initialized. This one has 2 rows of 3 columns each. This next one has 3 rows, but each row has a variable number of columns. And you can do that too. So the first one has just 2 values, the second one 1, and the last one 3. And you can see you have 2 double brackets, right? So the first one creates the outer array, and the second one creates the inner array, an array of an array. And that's how it works. Visually, it's laid out to look like a table because that's the best way we have of doing it. What you look at is output array when you output it is now we see us using 2 for loops. And that's very common. You generally need 1 for loop for each dimension of your array to a 2-dimensional array will need a for loop within a for loop to output it. The outer for loop will be for each row, the inner for loop for each column. And so, we output it just like you have an inner array within an outer array. We have an inner for loop for each column within an outer for loop, and just loops through and prints out all the values in a tabular type format, so that when we look at it, we get something that looks like a table. Okay. Questions on these? Okay. Let's see. You would use a 2-dimensional array in combination with an HTML table, particularly when you start getting to some Web 2.0 stuff. A lot of times what you might do with a 2-dimensional array, you use it for a number of purposes. Let's say you've got a small data set that you want to store locally so that it's faster when people click on something. Maybe it's a list of gender types or a list of employment types. You might store them in an array and then use them to dynamically update a drop-down list. And the same thing with an HTML table. You might store a small amount of data into a 2-dimensional array and then use that array to dynamically update the HTML table. So generally, they're used in combination with HTML tables. When we get into some much further on in the course of some dynamic HTML stuff, we'll see how that works. But you generally use them in combination because the 2-dimensional array is not visual. It stores data in memory. An HTML table is visual. It displays the data. But they're used in combination with each other very often to do dynamic updating. Okay? And again, that's a little bit further down the road, but that's how they would be used in combination with each other. And again, it shows you the code here for all that. All right, anything else from anyone? Okay. And let's see. So the also one I'm talking about is the midterm. It looks like I'm saying it's only oh shoot. That's not is that right? Yes. Chapters 1 to 6. So I believe if we look at it, 1 to 6 will be very little, JavaScript, just the stuff from chapter 6, the introductory stuff. So not a lot in it. It's going to be mostly HTML and CSS. Mostly HTML and CSS. 25 multiple choice questions. History and high-level architecture that was covered in some of the first and second chapter about HTML. I should say HTML5, not XHTML. You're going to have to know things about tags such as name, ID, alt, href, etc., things like that. You should know how to deal with crate tables, what they're used for. Tags like input and the select, you should know how to do that and the different parts of it. Some basic stuff about search engines and meta tags specifically. Some strategies about getting your pages into search engines by using meta tags and putting a lot of stuff in the first 1,000 characters. Basic parts of a web page, you have to have HTML and a head and title. You don't have to have title, but usually it's a good idea to have it. Body tags and HTML. Open and close tags. You should know that you need to properly form your tags so you open and close them. Validation services like the validator at w3.org. Why you shouldn't use the mail to tag, why it's a bad idea. There's 3 types of styles. Style sheets, you should know about them. Inline, embedded, and external. You should know that external is the best to use, but sometimes the others make sense as well. You should be able to write each. So you should be able to write a style sheet or small parts of a style sheet. Understand the flow of HTML and absolute versus relative positioning. Media types. You should know. It's probably not here, but you should know. Basically the new HTML5 types as well. From JavaScript, some basic stuff like parentheses, curly brackets, semicolon, what they're used for, the plus operator, window.alert, the escape sequences, the var, what the var creates a variable in null, comments, how to create comments and what they are, very basic algebra in JavaScript, basic if statement, and the difference between the equal and the single equal and the double equal, and then just the date object. So that's what we're looking for in chapters 1 to 6. There'll be some questions on JavaScript, but they'll be pretty basic and pretty easy. And then again, most of it's going to be on HTML, HTML5, CSS, CSS3. So basically chapters 1 to 6. Any questions on that? No questions? That's basically all I've got for tonight, so if you don't have any questions, oh, here we go. Please put the updated slides. Yeah. The updated slides. Oh, you know what? They're not. I'll put the updated slides there. The test will be on web access. Yes, it will have a time limit. An hour and a half, 90 minutes to do 30 questions. Well, all the YouTube videos from last week should be there. Are they not there? They should be there. Oh, for tonight, yes, I'll try and upload them as quickly as I can. Yes. Yes. Lab. Yeah. Correct. 21st. Okay. Other questions? Um, well, that's about it for tonight. I will be at the lab tomorrow. I'll update it. Actually, we'll probably be into chapter 11 most likely. I need to update it, but it'll most likely be chapter 11. So there will be a class that night. The lab is open usually by 5:30. I'm pretty sure you can access it all day, but once you start it, you only get 90 minutes. Okay. Other questions? Yeah, I was only planning on making it available on Tuesday. Well, you could probably make it available longer, but you'll only get 90 minutes. So whenever you start it, you better have 90 minutes to work on it. How many total labs will there be? It looks like it's probably going to be 8 or 9. Available tomorrow? No. I don't think so. I haven't made it up yet. I doubt I can make it available tomorrow. Yes, I do. Your grade will be in web access. You'll be taking the exam in web access, so you'll get a grade there. I think you get a grade immediately. I'm not sure. Okay, more questions? Okay, let's just wait till um, everyone else is done with public questions. Okay. Are there any other questions? Okay, I'll stay on the webinar longer, but if there's no other, you can ask questions, or you can instant message me on Yahoo or AIM, and I'll stay on the webinar longer. But if you don't have any questions, we're basically done.